the jobs number wasn't satisfactory, and that shows a weakness and will put some pressure on the Federal Reserve. Now, the revisions, I wouldn't really worry about them so much, because if you look back, there were consistent downward revisions, not only during Trump's time, but also during Biden's time.
But these were really big numbers that they revised downward. It wasn't like 30 or 40,000, it was 200,000.
I agree. And if you go back during the Biden administration, that was something that, because there were big revisions then too, the Republicans were saying, look, I mean, the economy is not doing so well, when these numbers were announced then. So it is a problem that the estimates are not as accurate as they should be. I don't know if a new appointee will be able to make things better. Probably people use the best technology they have.
Okay. Really sending shockwaves, however, Trump's knee-jerk reaction and fire a longtime federal officials that many say sends a signal of killing the messenger. He wants his own person in, someone in his words provides accurate jobs numbers, saying that these jobs were rigged. What kind of confidence does that give people in the United States?
Well, I mean, we live in a very polarized setup, especially in the civil service. So I think in some way it will be better if Trump has his own person there, so that the numbers, as far as he's concerned, are credible. So it's important for everybody to agree that whatever numbers are reported are credible, and whatever revisions are made are reasonable, and so on. There shouldn't be this problem, oh, maybe he made it up, or maybe he's playing a political game. That problem shouldn't be there.
Okay, it shouldn't be there. But given Trump's history, there are people who are concerned he's going to put his own person in who, for lack of a better term, is going to cook the numbers. And what would that do to the...
That's very unlikely. I mean, we are not the banana republic. Nobody can really cook the numbers. I mean, that's out of the question. I'm sorry. It won't happen.
Okay, that's good information. Okay, so let's move on. Is there any reason to expect the jobs numbers are going to improve anytime soon?
It's very difficult to say. I think the last few months have been months of upheaval because of the introduction of tariffs. And I had hoped that this whole episode would have finished by now, but the way it goes, it's going to take a couple of months more. So as long as this uncertainty is hanging over businesses,
right.
Everybody is going to be careful and conservative and not hire too many people and not make too big investments for a while until this episode is finished and we get stable tariffs, whatever the number is, that they're stable, and businesses can plan and grow based on these numbers.
Okay, let's talk a little more about Trump's tariffs, though, and how they are affecting the jobs numbers, because he wants to spawn more U.S. manufacturing. He's made that clear. That's what he wants out of all this. But is that going to happen? Because there are a lot of people out there who said it's just not ever going to happen. You're never going to build iPhones back in the United States. And the auto industry is concerned that the deals he has is going to make it more expensive to import so many parts to build automobiles that they're going to have to pass that on to consumers. So it's just kind of a never-ending cycle.
Well, I think the problem is not a never problem. That is, it will never happen that companies are going to relocate in the United States and produce in the United States. But it takes time. It might take years. It might take until the end of the Trump administration for businesses to follow their incentives, or the incentives that have been created by the new structure of tariffs, and locate in the United States. And therefore, expecting results right away is unreasonable. I mean, nothing is going to happen right away.
Okay, so let's say they do follow these incentives, and it does take 3 years. How does this economy trudge forward 3 years without having the benefit of having more manufacturing and having this tax, for lack of a better word, of tariffs being out there?
Well, the incentives are towards manufacturing in the United States, not against it. So it won't really hurt manufacturing in the United States. Now, what might happen is that the tariffs are not going to, it's possible that they might not be all absorbed by businesses and the consumers will have to pay more. That we have to see.
Yeah.
And that might contribute to inflation. But I don't think it's going to hurt manufacturing.
Okay. You mentioned earlier that the Fed has this information, and it's certainly going to affect them in September. What are you looking for?
Well, the Fed was supposed to to have a rate cut in September. It is conceivable, although very unlikely, that it will do a cut before its meeting in September. And it is possible that if other information gets added to the news about the not so good news about employment, that it might cut more than a quarter. We will see. I mean, it's the Fed in general has been slow in reacting, very conservatively slow in reacting to the economy. It was slow to increase interest rates. Now I think it's going to be slow to decrease interest rates, and we should be frank about it. It's not just Trump that is pushing for lower interest rates. The whole Wall Street is pushing for low interest rates, and Wall Street really has more power than Trump. So this is the pressure that Powell and the Fed